Most people think happiness is about gaining something, but it's not. It's all about getting rid of the darkness you accumulate. Nothing that happens to you is meant to be. The only thing about you that was meant to be is you. Blaze your own trail. I am not pretty. I am not beautiful. I am as radiant as the sun. If you wake up tired, you've been chasing dreams. If you go to bed tired, you're making your dreams happen. Enjoy the limitless bliss consciousness here and now. The reality of you lies much beyond your sensory perceptions and boundaries. If you're in the luckiest 1% of humanity, you owe it to the rest of humanity to think about the other 99%. Nobody's going to win all the time. On the highway of life, you can't always be in the fast lane. We hold the future still timidly, but perceive it for the first time as a function of our own action. To shine your brightest light is to be who you truly are. You can't always win in life, but you can always have a mind that every loss is not a defeat. In order to be irreplaceable, one must always be different. The point of modern propaganda isn't only to misinform or push an agenda. It is to exhaust your critical thinking to annihilate truth. I don't think there's anything wrong with telling the truth. I know it isn't fashionable. Having the courage to stand up for what we believe in is our greatest glory, not winning every battle. When you procrastinate, you become a slave to yesterday. A need for revenge can burn long and hot, especially if every glance in a mirror reinforces it. That's a misconception, Lenny. The sky is everywhere. It begins at your feet. Every time you spend money, you're casting a vote for the kind of world you want. If your dreams don't scare you, they are too small. But in the end, it's only a passing thing. The shadow, even darkness, must pass. This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time. Don't live down to expectations. Go out there and do something remarkable. It's not whether your glass is empty or full. It's what you do with it that really matters. A concept is a brick. It can be used to build a courthouse of reason, or it can be thrown through the window. To be human is to be broken, and broken is its own kind of beautiful. Luck is a word used to describe the success of people you don't like. Single is not a status. It is a word that describes a person who is strong enough to live and enjoy life without depending on others. The trouble with denial is that when the truth comes, you aren't ready. The secret of success in life is for a man to be ready for his opportunity when it comes. The end may justify the means as long as there is something that justifies the end. Realize that everything connects to everything else. Too much action with too little intent makes for wasteful exertion of energy and the confusion between movement and progress. Prolong not the past, invite not the future, do not alter your innate wakefulness, fear not appearances, there is nothing more than this. The easy confidence with which I know another man's religion is folly teaches me to suspect that my own is also. Sometimes the only reason for us to be somewhere else is to see things from a different perspective. The two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. If you care about something enough, you'll find a way to make it happen. A hero is just somebody who does the right thing when it would be far, far easier to do nothing. True siblings are bound together by far more essential things than blood, while more times than many blood isn't thicker than water. An opinion should be the result of thought, not a substitute for it. Dream no small dreams, for they have no power to move the hearts of men. And I remembered something else that makes us human. Faith, the only weapon in our arsenal to battle doubt. Doubting your judgments is the beginning of enlightenment. Better the comfort of a lie than the absurdity of the truth. People, in general, would rather die than forgive. It's that hard. In order to write the book you want to write, in the end you have to become the person you need to become to write that book. A good plan violently executed now is better than a perfect plan executed at some indefinite time in the future. Before I can become an expert on anything, I must first become an expert on me. Stars do not pull each other down to be more visible, they shine brighter. You will have 500 million little bells, and I shall have 500 million springs of fresh water. There is nothing worse for the lying soul than the mirror of reality. Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. It is not uncommon for people to spend their whole life waiting to start living. There are some things that it is better to begin than to refuse, even though the end may be dark. If you've got the truth, you can demonstrate it. Talking doesn't prove it. It would be so nice if something made sense for a change. If something is important, it deserves to be experienced deeply. All human beings have 3 lives: public, private, and secret. The inner revolution will not be televised or sold on the internet. It must take place within one's own mind and heart. In my many years, I have come to a conclusion that 1 useless man is a shame, 2 is a law firm, and 3 or more is a Congress. It is clear that the individual who persecutes a man, his brother, because he is not of the same opinion, is a monster. Etri dans le vent, c'est avoir le destin de fuir les morts. Faith is not like a raincoat, only to be worn on drizzly days. Fault always lies in the same place, with him weak enough to lay blame. It frightens me, the awful truth of how sweet life can be. It doesn't matter how far it is for you to reach your goal, what matters is your aim to succeed. You have to teach your heart and mind how to sing together. Then you'll hear the sound of your soul. It's a sad day when you find out that it's not accident or time or fortune, but just yourself that kept things from you. Stop blaming outside circumstances for your inside chaos. One half of the world cannot understand the pleasures of the other. It is very tough to climb a mountain. However, it is not as tough as convincing yourself that you can climb it. If you believe what you like in the gospel and reject what you don't like, it is not the gospel you believe, but yourself. Few among men are they who cross to the further shore. The others merely run up and down the bank on this side. We come spinning out of nothingness, scattering stars like dust. A writer must teach himself that the basest of all things is to be afraid. Though all men be equally frail before the world, the differences between them are terrifying. Don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart. All that happens means something. Nothing you do is ever insignificant. Perfection of character is this: to live each day as if it were your last, without frenzy, without apathy, without pretense. If you do not believe you are disciplined, it is because you have not decided to become disciplined yet. The seeker embarks on a journey to find what he wants and discovers, along the way, what he needs. Tell people the hammered truth, and it will ring like steel against an anvil. I am not afraid to die. I am only afraid of saying goodbye to you forever. My world is about stories that entertain, emotions that move, people you'll remember, literature that matters. A hero is someone who has given his or her life to something bigger than oneself. I do not know what the heart of a rascal may be, but I know what is in the heart of an honest man. It is horrible. Never get bitter. Life is a medley of good and bad ingredients. Weißt du, nicht jeder Wort dein Talent sein können, aber das heißt nicht, dass du keins besitzt. If you don't care for obscenity, you don't care for the truth. If you don't care for the truth, watch how you vote. Differences are not intended to separate, to alienate. We are different precisely in order to realize our need of one another. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it. However cozy things seemed, the facts of life were the same. You couldn't escape death. It would get us all in the end. Gratitude creates hope, and hope activates the law of attraction. Behind every successful person lies a pack of haters. You must have someone in your circle who you can bounce off your ideas without being dissuaded. This life is not a movie, and sometimes I forget that. It is not that I am mad, it is only that my head is different from yours. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. Food is not merely a means of satiating our hunger, but a source of sustenance that fuels our existence.